Hello, hello, beautiful and lovely people. Today I wanted to talk about something that is, I consider a missing link, really, um, about meditation and how to further your meditation practice, especially after you have gone on a retreat. The main goal is to retain whatever depth we have received through doing meditation 7 days and pretty much 7 nights during a session, which is an intense Zen practice. And that missing link, really, for me, was practice in action. And the reason why I came up with the topic today is because a friend of mine who had gone to a Vipassana retreat, which, in my opinion, really, the particular one that I went to many years ago, lacks really one on one coaching. So her question is like, yeah, I went to this retreat and I really enjoyed it, but it's very difficult to keep that state of mind afterwards. And I mentioned to her practice in action and why it is so important. Um, the famous Zen teacher from the 18th century, Hakuin, was a big proponent of practice in action. He just hated people who seclude themselves in some room and meditate all day. He did not like that, and he speaks very harshly about that. And he discovered later on that, as many as all Zen teachers preach, really, is that everything we do is meditation. Everything we do should be done in a mindful way to further our practice. And recently, I was at a retreat where this elderly Zen teacher said during his talk that meditation is not sitting on your cushion a couple of hours a day, twice, 3 times a week, a day. But meditation is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter what we do. And it's a very valid point. So basically, what we want to do is after a retreat, we want to maintain that state of mind of practice that we work so hard in those 7 days to reach. And it's going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie. Especially if you have jobs, if you have kids, if you have people in your family that require your time, it can be a challenge. But I'm here to tell you it can be done, and it's a beautiful experience once you get into it. So, what is practice in action? It basically means that when you're done with your daily meditation, you take that state of mind and that practice in whatever you do, in whatever you do. So you want to be practicing meditation literally 24 hours a day, no matter what you do. Now, as a beginner, I would just advise you to really focus on happening on the cushion. But after a while, it's important to really carry that practice, whatever you do. That means when you're driving, and I'm not saying you should meditate when you're driving, safety first, obviously, but you want to be so focused on your driving and pay so much attention to every second of your driving that it becomes a meditative state, a meditation practice. When you're walking to take out the garbage to the street, you want to be really mindful and meditative in every step that you take. The pressure in your arm carrying that garbage can, you're walking, the cold air in your face if it's winter time, the weight shifting from one foot to another. You basically practice meditation in every single thing you do. And one of the things that I just love about my job that occasionally occurs is that I have to walk. I'm by myself. I love doing that. And I just go walk back and forth and practice my meditation while I'm doing a 12-hour shift. And I just love it. And you can get into good depth in your practice when you do that. It won't happen over time like everything else. It will not magically manifest. The results will not manifest after a day or two. It takes practice. And it's easy to kind of give up on it because you don't see immediate results. And that was the case with me. But if you practice, um, it will be exactly the same kind of meditation as you do sitting in a quiet room in your cushion early in the morning before dawn. And it's a beautiful thing. It's just, it really improves your practice, it improves your life, obviously, and it's just a great, great experience. So I remember at my first sessions, my first retreats, I would just get into such bad state of mind when I was driving back after a session, long day, and then I would be working and I was just hating it. I'm like, why am I not meditating right now? This and that. But over time, I realized that everything we do should be meditation. Um, Driving, doing dishes, even doing dishes particularly, is a very strong Zen practice. So when you're vacuuming the house, for example, you want to be really doing it with intention of doing it as a form of meditation. So you put it all together, you start vacuuming, you're mindful of your movements back and forth, you're mindful of the noise, you're mindful of everything. And the idea is that you're so focused on what you're doing, so in tuned with what you're doing, that thoughts sort of disappear. And that's pretty much a meditative state. So when you're doing vacuuming, when you're doing the dishes, just be mindful, just have that intention of doing it as part of your meditation practice. So when you're washing the dishes, obviously be mindful of the sensation of the dish in your hand, the dirty dish you're washing, the warmth of the water, the soap, your movements. Very, very mindful of everything. The way you rinse it, the way you place it back, the drying mat. Just be mindful of everything. If there's some sort of bird singing outside the window, just become in tune with it and be aware of it. When you wash the sink, be aware of it. All those things are very meditative. I just love cleaning my van. I remember a few sessions ago, we had a free day afterwards, and I didn't want to do anything. I just cranked up the music, and I just stayed back and just cleaned my van, and it was an amazing experience. So we want to have those amazing experiences in our everyday life. Everything we do is meditation. Driving, walking, taking care of other people, even like listening to people can be a very meditative thing to do if you have the intention to do so. Um, and It's just a part of everyday life. Traditionally, in even the most strict and traditional Zen monasteries, outside of the sessions, you could only do anywhere from 3 to maximum of 5 hours sitting meditation. I think maximum 5 was the time when there is no retreat. So what did the people do? They would plant rice. They would till the field if there was land. They would clean the monastery all day, every day, obviously. They would go and beg for food traditionally, which we don't really do these days anymore. And There's a YouTube video about this Zen monk who's very, very good. And they show him, it's a short video, just a few minutes, going and begging for food. And nowadays in Japan, they just give money. And the way he walks with his hat and just walking, ringing his bell, it's quite so meditative to just watch it, let alone just being that person. So yeah, so you want to turn every single time that you have, as long as it's safe, obviously, as long as you can focus. You don't want to go on a important meeting, business meeting, and just like meditate. You don't want to do that. You want to pay attention to what you're doing at that time. But over time, when it's safe to do so, you can do everything that you do as a form of meditation. So we have it as our intention to go through that action as a act of meditation. We totally go into depth in it when we're doing it, whether it's cutting grass or everything else. Even shopping, believe it or not, can be a very meditative thing. Yeah, so everything is meditation, really. My teacher really talked me into practicing that practice in action, because it's very big. And instead of being frustrated, now I'm just enjoying it. Being frustrated meaning that doing a sitting meditation, I am able to, most of the time, obviously not always, tune in into the whatever I'm doing as a form of practice. Not all the time, but enough to improve my practice and get in tune with whatever I'm doing. And let's face it, we're busy people these days. We have to make money. A lot of us don't live in a monastery. Even in a monastery, you have to work every day, one form or another. But even if we have to have a job, and part of our practice is to meditate whenever we get a chance during our jobs, even if it's busy, even if it's hectic. And I assure you, if we do it with intention, um, it will the results will come up. It's the same thing. I remember the assistant teacher who was an amazing woman at the center that I go to. Right the morning after the retreat was over, you would see her on a dinner table in a kitchen with a laptop doing financial stuff right first thing in the morning. And I just told her once that I just love how you transition from a meditation to work. And she turned around and told me it's the same thing. I don't switch anything. I just what I do on the mat, I do here with financial stuff. And that was a very important lesson that I had to learn. So yeah, give it a try. Just carry that state of mind into what are you doing during the day, and just be in tune with it. And I assure you, if you keep up with it, um, not only will you see results, but it will be exactly like sitting in a quiet place, doing deep meditation. It's the same thing. It's just an amazing feeling. And the other point that I wanted to make, which is very important, and that's why I always promote practice in action, is it wears off boredom. You get bored. I really get bored if I'm sitting home just doing meditation most of the time. It's just, it doesn't seem like boredom, but I get a little bit tense and I just want to just do stuff. So in summertime, we have a park that I like to go to close to my house, and has old trees. I'll just do walk and meditation there. Nobody knows what I'm doing. I'm just walking like everybody else. So practice in action really complements sitting practice, because don't get bored. Sitting by yourself, you get bored after a few hours, no doubt about it. But if you're out there doing stuff with other people, sometimes even talking with other people, interacting with other people while you're doing some sort of action, whatever it may be, driving them around, um, cutting grass, doing work projects, you don't get bored because there's always this stimulus that you integrate into your meditation practice in action. So that's a very important point that I wanted to point out too. Yeah, like that Zen teacher said, Zazen, or whatever form of meditation you do, it's not just a few hours sitting or a few minutes sitting on your cushion. It's 24 hours a day, even when you sleep. I haven't done the sleeping part yet, but if it happens, I will let you know. All right. Have an amazing day. Have a great week. I'm really looking forward to talking to you next time. Take care.